A world nearly destroyed by a cataclysm, saved by the actions of heroes long gone. A world that has survived, recovered, and even thrived. This is the world of Tyr. Here, the descendants of those heroes and the other survivors of the cataclysm have built great nations, the 8 pillars that support the world. Nearly 1,500 years after the cataclysm, the world is one of relative calm. However, beneath this veneer of peace, great forces move. With every shift and shudder, they threaten to disrupt the delicate balance that keeps the pillars standing. Now, across the world, knowingly or not, people must become heroes, or the pillars will fall and Tyr will be no more. Join us as we follow some of those heroes and see their struggles to keep their world from destruction. Hello, everyone. God willing, you can see and hear us. At least me.
Rachel with a mouthful
And Rachel.
of food.
Welcome to Helpful Goat Gaming presents Tyr Moontree Isle. My name is Galway. I'm one of the founders of Helpful Goat Gaming, and we are playing some Dungeons & Dragons tonight in my world of Tyr. As mentioned, this is Helpful Goat presents. Helpful Goat Gaming is a small independent game design and game content creation community. As ever, we would love it if you would hang out with us. You can do that by following us here on Twitch. You can follow us on our socials at Helpful Goat. And also, very importantly, Elyse is very excited for Push the Button. And also, perhaps most significantly, !Discord will give you a link to join our Discord where we do game days, we do movie nights, we do lots of hanging out, we play games together, we chat about D&D and tabletop RPGs, etc. We just had a really good discussion about how to run D&D for like 1 DM 1 player or 1 DM 2 players and resources around that. So I encourage you, come check it out. Sorry, I saw Push the Button, and then for some reason the next entry I saw was not Elise's response. It was Rachel saying it's Caesar salad and mac and cheese. And I'm like, Elyse, what list of animals are you looking at?
Dancing Caesar salad.
We are professional.
I was responding to Monty.
Okay, !Discord. Get a link to join our Discord. We're pretty much always like this, so this is a pretty fair barometer of if you enjoy this and want to.
Tame.
Yeah, spend more time around this, please feel free. Otherwise, our feelings are hurt. If you would like to support us in doing more of this, there we go. Someone found it. I made a
There's
exclamation
a
point
command.
jink command.
Okay. Elyse, we're not pushing any buttons.
If you would like to support us and support us doing more of this, I will never say doing this more professionally, but doing more of it and maybe doing it with nicer overlay images, etc. Please consider using !Coffee, KO-FI. That'll allow you to donate directly to us if you would like to donate to us and also get some fun merch in the process. !Merch, not !Nerch. No, Andy, never letting that one go. We'll take you to our merch store where you can support us and get really cool gear. Coming up next week, there will be a new piece dropping, which I'm pretty excited about, featuring design work from Sam and myself. I feel like Sam's now like, wait, what have I worked on? Oh, crap.
Yeah, huh? What?
Besides that, !Donate, we here at Helpful Goat always encourage you to support causes and communities that can use extra assistance. We are still highlighting the Trevor Project, which benefits LGBTQ youth in America. And as always, we encourage you to look for, if you have the time, energy, mental and emotional resources, financial resources, etc., to look for a local charity to donate to that maybe supports the same causes, because local donations go a really long way to supporting these causes within your communities. So we encourage you to do that. Upcoming stream schedule here on Twitch, twitch.tv/helpfulgoat. Saturday, tomorrow, August 7th, I believe at 8 p.m. Eastern. I wrote this down and then I was like, oh crap, did I get this wrong? The Goat's Eye interview with Narissa Hart, Ruby Hart, noted speedrunner, streamer, and also TTRPG enthusiast. Looking forward to getting to chat about speedrunning, the role of art in gaming and enjoyment, and favorite topic of tabletop RPGs. So please join us. I always enjoy these conversations a great deal, and it should be fun. Coming up next week on Thursday, August 12th, 8:30 p.m., we have Spire Queen's Cradle. Something probably from the Spire crew. Stay tuned to find out exactly what that is. And Friday, August 13th, 9 p.m. Eastern, we will have Goats and Dragons, The Fates of Rin, featuring myself playing as Charity and Rachel, still bound to our fate as the gnomish artificer Clem. Besides that, one quick announcement, which will also be repeated in Discord, so no worries there. Another benefit of joining our Discord is we occasionally do giveaways in there that we do not do elsewhere. Recently, for the Dom and Dragons podcast, we did a giveaway for a signed poster featuring original art from Monty at Miraculous Monty, with all the cast of Dom and Dragons signed by everyone, including Dominic Monaghan. The winners of that giveaway were Debbie, Chelsea, and Kat. So congratulations to everybody there. Thank you so much, everybody who entered, by leaving us a review. We really appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. And stay tuned for more things and giveaways there. All right. With that, I think we have gotten to the point where we can do introductions. As I mentioned, my name is Galway. I am the DM for tonight. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I am going to pass it to Heather.
Okay. Hi, I'm Heather. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and Bressa, who is a dwarven cleric of the Forge, her pronouns are also she, her, hers. And I have no idea what direction anyone's in, so I'm just going to go this way.
That's Sam.
Say.
I assume that's going to be to me. Hi, everyone. I'm Sam, and I play Dent, and the two of us use he, him, his pronouns. And before I pass it to anyone, I'm going to kind of give y'all a early apology if I happen to be super sluggish beyond normal today, because I literally just hopped on the call, and right before then, I was driving for 5 hours from Nashville. So I'm a little tired, but we're going to move the show right along, and I'm going to send it over this way to Daddy.
Me, hello, I'm your daddy. My name is Rachel, and I play Nero. I was going to say we both use, but we don't. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and Nero uses he, him, his. And as always, pass it up to my power top, Chris.
And as always, my glorious power bottom. Thank you very much. I'm Chris. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I play Ketch, Tabaxi fighter who uses the pronouns he, him, his. But he is also cohabitating with a nanodrider, sort of. And her name is Eliza, and she uses the pronouns she, her, hers, I do believe, if I remember correctly. Or maybe she fell back asleep before we figured that out.
The last time that you'd spoken, Eliza kept referring, self-referentially using we. As a,
okay, so we'll probably we'll verify. So probably more like they them. And yeah, that's all about me. And I'm gonna point in a direction. Where am I at in my room? That way. Over Galway's head.
To the
glorious
wave.
Why?
Hello, my name is Elyse. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I play Minnow Rowe, who is a human rogue, and she also uses she, her pronouns. Back to you, Galway. !
Discord if you want more of this in your life. And right back to the rest of you all as what happened last time onto your Moontree Isle.
Well, my notes are reflective of the chaos that was my experience of the last game. We have a few days of rest. Eliza was knocked out from, almost dying, getting absorbed into Ketch. And very important note, we found out that New Common is a polylingual mishmash.
Yeah.
Great. Which actually does help us. I think it supports the, what's it called? The hypothesis, which we have not spent much time conjecturing over lately, or the question that we haven't spent much time conjecturing over lately about whether or not we're in the past or the future. I think we'd have to be in the future if our language has evolved into a polylingual mishmash, right? Anyway, Wiseman spoke in common itself, like she learned it from Asana, and she chooses to speak it with us as we know it from our time. The tree accepts the name Rachel, so we now have Rachel the player, Rachel the tree, and Rachel the cat. So,
Clarification: we are talking about the tiny little pocket tree.
The tiny little.
Yes.
Yeah,
Topiary
the
tree.
big ass tree did not give you
the
a
big
name.
tree. Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't get a name from that one.
this is accurate. Nero was searching for a lot of things on the internet to do with morality, which Minnow, I seem to recall, set up like a parental, like, tell me what my
Yeah.
son is looking for filter, so that Minnow could have conversations with Nero based on what he was reading. Some, which I think, you know, who knows how that went. Always a question mark with Nero. Dent catches this is Sam. This is what your one note. You want to go for it?
Yeah. I caught a fish that was later determined to be a beholder fish, thanks in part to Ketch's cryptid buddy, and we aren't absolutely positively sure that it is literally related whatsoever to beholders, or if it is just the sheer product of like toxic, you know, radiation pollution dump in the water of the lake. But you know, who knows? Could be both.
Poor getting a lost.
Yeah.
Here's a beautiful art picture of the beholder fish.
Oh my god, it's
So
so
good.
good. We
Yes.
need
Oh, that's what my notes look like.
beholder fish emoji
So many eyes.
for the Discord. When is all I'm saying.
Oh,
Galway.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the new feature because we have a boosted server where I can make custom stickers. And I'm like, oh, that might justify a sticker.
Beholder fish sticker. Please based on Heather's beautiful art of the beholder fish. Well, Wise Man arrived on day 3, and
The wise men came on the third day.
the Wise Man came on the 3rd day.
Was she bearing gifts?
Yes. Little did you know this
I
was going
call
to
the
turn into Sunday school.
Frankincense.
We're looking for a city guard, Egan Sandcott, whose pronouns are he, him, who is researching the time fuckery. Some of his knowledge looks like it comes from our time. He himself either is from our time or has access to someone from then, and we think that that's probably related to the Bessibois. This is all correct, okay? Because my notes are slimmer than what I just said, so I was
Yes,
filling in details based on a month-old memory.
that is where the sort of the group has conjectured out to. So.
And Egan seems to have no love for the corpse. I also have just the name Moonwatcher Microsystems written down.
Yes, so that was related to Dent has been interested in Foro Solutions, and you sort of had a discussion with Wise Man about finding out more about Foro, and that she related that that's kind of hard. Of all of the corps, Paragon, the sort of resistance organization that she is one of the leaders of, has never made much progress with them. And even when she worked for Drakon, not a lot of progress. So she essentially suggested that maybe you shouldn't use the more normal means of attack, and one might be a suggestion that they may have fabricated some things through this other company, Moonwatcher Microsystems, so they might have data access.
Just jotting that down real quick.
Yes, and then I believe you all had a conversation.
We did also have a few other things happen. We had, the center, we asked about the sewer tunnels. I think it's basically a dead end. Eliza woke up, and we found out that she's a nanodriders are fusion of nanobots and a host. And then Ketch asked if he's the host now, and Eliza kind of said yes, but you're not going to be a nanodrider. And then we found out that there's Project Axis, which is related to the Union of Governments, Astrocorps and Foro. Astrocorps and Foro, is that right?
Yep.
And then I have the note, we were made for something, and I have no context. That is the last thing I wrote down.
So
I think that's what. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, related to the nanodriders, specifically in my notes, I have the other nannies control, heal, and regenerate, but that was supposed to be nanites. So when we were asking Eliza about these, like, the more gunmetal style nanites that were kind of intertwined with who she is, or who they are, Eliza said that they didn't remember the gunmetal ones being added into their system, and that they specifically, their purpose was to enhance certain abilities. And so that's kind of led Ketch to have like a Catch-22 about what is Ketch going to do with these abilities.
Okay.
And you are, I think what you were going to say, Heather, was probably correct.
It's the same.
Yeah, we were created for something was a thing that Eliza said.
Yeah.
And yes, Eliza mentioned that there are a certain type of nanite that essentially is corrupting and controlling, that Foro had introduced, and that those were what had granted her some of the abilities that she had and enhanced some of the abilities that she'd already had.
Okay, and Project Axis, because that's literally the only notes that I have on it. Did we learn? That's all we know about that.
Yeah, she /
Okay,
they
because then
didn't have
Eliza
much.
passed back out, and then that's when we did also find out that the beholder fish, from according to Wiseman, is probably not a thing. But we don't, what we believe just depends on how much cryptid blog interaction you've probably had at this point. And then last but not least, we did have a conversation about whether or not we were going to, how much kind of effort we were going to put into staying here and figuring these things out versus taking our first opportunity to return home and leave this fight to the people fighting this fight in the kind of correct timeline.
Also, because I didn't want to forget, Chelsea's poem, which I will read. It's been a while since I have. Morality according to the internet, questionable fish, and an ever-looming threat. Weighted choices to make, to fight or to go, the depth of this incredible story continues to grow. Bring on the laughter, chaos, and lore here under the Moontree. Much love to your crew, your voices I hear, and faces I see. Thank you so much, Chelsea.
Yay! So awesome. Thank you.
Beautiful.
But yeah, for what you all recapped there, and kind of the consensus, I would say, in as much as one was expressed in that discussion from the group, was absolutely take this sort of chance to leave, hit this window, but you know that you have still, 15, 25 days left, sort of in the window that Wiseman had established. And there was sort of generally openness to making some use of that to try to wrap some things up, maybe try to get in contact with the Bessibois, maybe try to do something with Foro, find out a little bit more of some of the things that Dent has heard about, but that the first priority was hitting that timeline so that you wouldn't be exceeding it, and then so everyone was sort of generally on board with that. So I would say it's probably been about an hour and a half. The thing you're waiting for was Wiseman had said that she would provide for you a data pad that would allow you to contact Detective Sandcott without having it be able to be traced back to who you were, without your location immediately being discovered, etc. She felt that generally Sandcott was probably an okay sort. She didn't think that like he would immediately flip you to the corpse or anything, but you don't have a lot of information, so caution seemed best. So you're kind of waiting for that to be delivered. Minnow, you've probably gone back to training with your pistols with Asana, who is now much less afraid of you firing the pistols. Dent and the rest of y'all may be sort of considering some things, but Nero, you also had recently stitched sort of a massive pocket across the front of your new clothing in order to get some expanded room for the not entirely happy roommates of Jebediah the Lizard and Rachel the Tree. No confusion here. I'm a demon of the people.
Fine.
People are chaos goblins. It's fine. And as you're sort of walking around just this warehouse that you've been, this warehouse sort of safe house that you've been staying in, from the inside of your pocket, you feel like tug on the top of the fabric.
I'll just kind of reach in and pull Jebediah out, I'm assuming.
No, it was Rachel. As you sort of pull Jebediah out, he's like points almost down at your pocket where Rachel the Tree has tipped over, and dirt is sort of filling the pocket.
Oh no, is Rachel okay? Are you okay? Do you have a solution for this?
I don't remember if 1 was yes or 2 was yes. Damn it. Screwed
I
myself.
think 1 is yes and 2 is no.
Okay, then reverse those. 1, yes, Jebediah is okay. Jebediah has no solution.
I'm gonna reach in and kind of fix the dirt a bit in my
Sort of scooping this back in, trying to you prop Rachel back up, sort of instantly tips over as you move your arm.
Okay, maybe making a larger pocket wasn't the best solution.
And sort of as you're thinking about this, you see Mr. Jimbles, the Tressum, sort of unfold and like stretch as a cat would, walk over to you, sort of tilt back his little bowler hat, and pop a piece of paper on the ground and slide it towards you.
Do you want me to look at this, Mr. Jimbles? Did you draw something?
Bless Hero's heart.
Is this artwork that you did? I'm very proud of you. And I'll reach down and I'll pick it up and look at it.
Just remind us what Nero's intelligence modifier is.
And just for the
Fine.
stream, if people aren't watching, the expression on
0.
Galway's face as he said, "Mr. Jimbles looks at you," was priceless.
Yeah, and
Confusion
Mr. Jimbles has what,
scorn.
like a +2, I think, intelligence modifier.
I
So
think
just
Mr.
smarter
Jimbles
than
is
Ressa is.
absolutely smarter than I am.
Mr. Jimbles, I don't know I don't remember everyone's mods, but I'm pretty sure Mr. Jimbles does have an 11 as a Tressum.
it's the still
Fine.
0, yeah.
Ressa's
Samesies.
sitting at 8. So
Yeah, because at one point you tried to use communicate with animals and you couldn't
Too
because
smart for that.
Mr. Jimbles is too smart. Mr. Jimbles also like understands common
Right,
according
just
to a
can't
Tressum
speak
stat
it.
block, just can't speak. So yeah, you unfold this and you can see in a sort of very rough sketch, like literally the strokes of the sketching are rather rough. They do look quite similar to what might be a cat's claw dipped in ink might produce. You see a schematic, essentially a fabrication schematic for a coat.
Do you know how to make this? Can you sew?
Is anybody else around?
Nope. It's just me and Jebediah and Jimbles.
Jimbles is seriously considering leaving.
Jibbles is just like now making prolonged eye contact with Jebediah.
Right. You probably can't because you have cat paws, but to be fair to me, I also didn't know you could draw. You're a cat of many hidden talents. Who can sew? How do we make this? Do we need to sew?
Mr. Jimbles is just gonna walk over and like tap at a data pad and is like essentially calling up the equivalent of like Google Maps and is just like slapping the shopping district.
Just using his little like kitty pet, like toe beans.
Yep. It's like the toe beans in order to activate the touchpads.
You want me to go somewhere? Is that safe?
You're gonna see Mr. Jimbles just like fly across to the other side of the room. And Ressa, there's just like a bite on your ankle.
Oh, Miss Jimbles. Okay. All right, I'm coming.
Jumps up on table, slaps design schematic, slaps map.
Oh,
Ressa, did you know Mr. Jimbles was an artist?
I did not, but
Maybe we should buy him some pigments and then he can do color.
Maybe, but this looks like a coat that you could wear. And he's showing us a map of the shopping district, presumably where we could have it made.
Oh.
Mr. Jimbles is just going to adjust his bowler and like stalk off towards one of the couches.
So I don't understand the data port nets. Do we have the money to have a coat made?
That would depend on how much it is. And if I remember right, Minno's holding the money.
Yeah.
Not since we've been in Moontree City. Actually, everybody has their own credits because we all sold off our stuff.
Right.
Yep. And none of the clothes that you got fabricated were especially expensive. It seems like even that wasn't too bad.
I have 8,150 credits.
Yeah. You'd probably only be looking at there are some in the long run there are some more unusual materials and more specific architecture in this. But it would only require probably 750.
Okay. Yeah, we can do a shopping trip, or I could just say that Nero did it. Because if we do a shopping trip, I'll be like, so does anybody want to go? And then it would take...
At this, Mr. Jimbles is just going to reappear on your shoulder. In like the very frowny cat face of just like...
Can I give you chin scritches?
There's both purring and, again, as Mr. Jimbles sometimes does, like as cats will like sort of kick when they're happy, the wings start flapping.
Oh.
Nice. Yes, so I will go and get made this beautiful schematic that Mr. Jimbles has drawn out. And while I am out, I will also buy pigments for Mr. Jimbles and a little bag so he can hold them in his bowler hat so he can start painting and making pictures if he wants in color.
God,
and I can
wholesome.
fashion him kind of a clip that would go out on his paw that he could use as a brush holder if he wanted to.
Oh my God, my camera's frozen.
Okay, I was like, is Rachel incidentally frozen for anyone else? It's just a real
really
long
intensely
lean
looking at
into
you.
the camera. Very, very good. So the coat that you have end up sort of getting returned from this fabrication is fairly long. It has sort of internal structures and pockets to it that essentially are like shelving that you can place things on. It allows air to circulate sort of from the underlining while the top of it is still waterproof. And it essentially is the equivalent of electrostatic, so that but it uses essentially mana, so it can either be transparent or opaque.
Nice.
Greg.
Oh, shit. Good thinking.
I was waiting for Galway to reach a logical conclusion to a sentence before. Yeah.
Now recording.
Our recording.
Thank you, Sam.
Oh. Overlay. They added
It's gonna fix once it goes live.
I was like, oh,
You're
hello.
like,
Craig is
excuse
taking over.
Right stream.
So yes, you have that. You, Ressa, you are able to fashion essentially a small like brush holder that you could hold onto a paw, and it requires some relatively fine crafting, so it could be operated via cat mouth to put on or off. Nero, you get a small bag of essentially a like child's paint set. A little bag, little waterproof bag, can all be tucked up under the bowler.
I'm so excited for all of the artwork that Mr. Jimbles is going to do for us.
Perhaps Mr. Jimbles himself produced the art. No, that's not true. So as part of this, and to reflect the fact that everybody here so thoroughly embraced the chance to have sort of a cyberpunk themed D&D campaign and characters, and took a great amount of joy in designing new outfits. I spoke with Monty, who made the original token art that we had, and commissioned some updated tokens for Moontree City Marauders. So for this, I'm going to turn this over to a quick video, and we will be back in just a second showing off this new art, because I wanted it to be bigger than it would be on the tokens. But yeah, so we will be back in just a second. Okay. So thank you so much, Monty, for those. Those are, incidentally, now your character tokens. So if you drag and drop, those are the tokens that will populate. Yeah, I really loved it. I loved... Everyone chat. I will not see those. I mean, I suppose I could pop up all of them, but I also have them arranged. Just give me a second. It's because I muted it.
Oh, we're muted.
Can you hear us now?
Heather?
They should be able to.
Anyone now?
Hello, hello, hello.
Heather?
Hello. Yes,
Can you hear us, Heather?
I can hear
Or
you.
It was
No, it's
stream
all
couldn't.
happening.
Stream couldn't because I muted. I muted it
I'm
so
like,
that
what are you-
so we weren't talking over the video.
It's like a slapstick comedy on accident.
Right?
It's
Who's on
Am
first?
I talking?
What's on
Oh,
second?
yeah, sorry. I was just like, I want to see all the artwork. Show me, show me. Everybody looks awesome. Even just from the initial flash.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So good, so good, so good.
I'm very excited.
Okay, so those are now very
Sorry.
big and covering most of us, but yeah. Thank you so much, Monty, for those. I love the updates.
Waiting.
I loved the very
They're so good.
cyberpunk styling. I loved the fact that it reflected everyone's changes. I will also say 100% the suggestion for Nero's new coat came from Monty, hence the need for a very quick retcon. And this marks the second time that Monty has really gotten to the heart of a character's design, because Dom and Dragon's Makek, Flower Crown, came from Monty. Which ended up being a very central part of Makek's character.
Yeah, it's literally a terrarium jacket. And if you look at the things, there's actually other small animals and plants and things in there. It was
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
beautiful. I can share the
It's very
the big
difficult to
version
not.
of it.
I was gonna say, for anyone to see if it's not like absolutely full size, there are fish patterns on Dent's poncho.
Nice.
There's lightning crackling from Ressa's hammer. Monty was, I think, the first person to know that you were going to be able to upgrade your hammer that way. Because I'm like, hey, before you design that, maybe put some electricity on that, because reasons. It's fine. It's not a spoiler.
I need you to also mention what the what you used as a reference for Monty for the sledgehammer design.
Oh, that's a jet turbine. I was like, this has the exact shape that I
Amazing.
want.
Fabulous.
I also
like
like
that-
that Minnow is just straight up holding a handgun. She's just like,
Like, let's go. Oh wait, I'm not in frame. Hey, she's just. I have this much space now. Hey guys.
You can still appear to threaten people. Yeah. No, I loved each of these. I loved the update to it. I love the design. The terrarium jacket is amazing as a piece of inspiration, and very much captured that. So yeah, thank you for getting me to put it up longer. But yeah, that's really happy with that. The overlays have been changed, so they all reflect that with the new tokens. Your character tokens are now those. You can drag and drop. Yeah. Finch has been demoted, and Gun is now familiar, says Chelsea.
I mean,
Ouch.
You need a Transformers familiar, so it can be both Finch and Gun.
Galway.
Ooh.
You're like, why would you say this if you're not going to do it? All right. So with that, because I wanted to celebrate that art a little bit, but with the retconning to get that aside, so yeah, essentially, as Nero now sort of safely wrapped in a biome, you arrive back at the warehouse, and you see a small box sitting on one of the tables. Those of you who remained behind saw a messenger come in and drop it off. Asana had come with you to make sure you didn't get in too much trouble and to drive the car. And she'll take a quick look and pass it over to you. There's a little label on it of "From Wise Man." The datapad should let you have a conversation with the detective without being traced, at least not easily. I'll let one of you handle the talking if you don't mind. It will honestly probably make more sense if there really are people from our time.
I don't mind at all. I can do that.
Okay. And Asana's going to sort of just step back. And inside, it looks like it's a very similar data pad to sort of the ones you've seen Asana and Wise Man using at various points. It has a small data port plugin, so it'll allow you to connect to one of your data ports. And you would assume that that's how you would then be able to connect and converse. It does look like it would be one person talking at a time. But yeah.
Can more than one person listen at a time?
Yeah, you can essentially have the input be through that, and then the output be
Okay,
through
but
the
it's just
pad
one.
itself.
Yeah. Okay. Well, are we gathered? Is this like happening now?
Yeah. I mean, you're all around. You can decide whether or not it's happening now, but you do now have the capability of reaching out. And again, in the conversations with Wise Man, it seemed like this one was probably the least effort and risk to start, and might take some time. It might take multiple contacts. It's going to take some planning. Fundamentally, sort of at the root of this is you think that the Bessibois may have been in the group that was sort of following you, if not outright pursuing you,
Right.
from the city guard. And this Detective Sandcott was from the information that they had found potentially involved in that, seemed interested in it, seemed not particularly friendly to corpse.
Okay.
So
yeah, does anyone remember what the names? This is Minnow. The names of the Bessibois are. Do we remember the Bessibois' names?
No.
I do not.
Denrick and Timmel. Denrick was Bessibois' son, a tiefling, and Timmel is his husband, who is a halfling.
Okay, and so we could presume Denrick's last name is Bessibois because it was Old Lady Bessibois. Is that her last name, or was that her first name and she goes by?
That was actually kind of a mononym from what you actually would have discovered. So Denrick may also be a mononym.
Gotcha. Okay.
Does that mean that they only have one name?
Yes. It seems like
Okay.
Bessibois' only name is Bessibois.
Okay, so we've got Denrick and Demel. How are we can contact Detective Sandcott. What do we want to say, and who do we want to have say it to get them to believe Sandcott is him, that we're the real deal and we're not just the corpse trying to con him into giving up these boys?
Can't we just ask to talk to them?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Do we have to tell him why?
maybe we drop Bessibois' name. Who else would know Bessibois' name but someone from the time who's met her?
Or is the person that we're talking to first not from our time, though, right? Or am I wrong?
We don't know who Sandcott is. It's possible that Sandcott is one of the Bessibois, or is someone from our time who also happens to know the Bessibois. But where I'm working under the worst case scenario, which is that he is someone from the current time who came across the Bessibois, took them under his wing, and has since learned how to speak our version of common from them. So, but I think either way that works, right? Because we can say, like, if you're not Denrick, then tell Denrick we have a message for him from Bessibois. Then Sandcott can go find Denrick and say, does the name Bessibois mean something to you? Denrick will be like, holy fuck, that's my mom. Why does somebody know my mom's name when I've never, talked to the corpse about her? They must be the real deal. And then can get back in touch with us.
You do also know from the discussions that were had around sort of the profile for Sandcott. Sandcott is a human man. Human man. So presumably is neither Denrick nor Timmel.
Denrick was a drow?
Tiefling.
Tiefling.
Okay.
When one of the Bessibois boys was shot, they didn't particularly get a good look at who shot them,
I
right?
forgot. Like, I know that it's, yeah.
That's a very good point.
Okay, so we lead with, hey, I'm the person who shot you. I didn't realize it was you. I've gotten better with a gun. Also, I know your mom. She wants us to bring you home.
And that's just going to inspire all of the trust,
Okay, we don't lead with that. So let's not mention the shooting until it gets brought up, and then we just say, like, listen, y'all were pursuing us. Of course we were going to fight. Of course we were going to fight, right?
Don't mind her. She just panicked. She got a new weapon. She was trying it out. Look at Ressa. She's fine, and she got shot too.
Yep.
Our
Almost
cleric
died in
can
that
heal
one.
you if you need it still. Like, it's been days. Come on. Don't you regenerate all your hit points when you sleep?
Well, at least we all have the advantage of looking a little bit different than when we shot them.
True.
Little, yeah.
I mean, we're still going to have to account for the fact that, but I feel like they peeled out pursuing us in the middle of a fight. If they're not a little understanding of the fact that, like, we shot them because they were pursuing us in the middle of a fight, I would be understanding. If someone shot me, even though I was an ally, but I didn't know who they were, like, I would be understanding of that.
Friendly
I'd be like,
fire.
yeah.
Hey, you just straight up shot me and I forgave you.
Yeah, thanks, Ressa.
And Dellen's forgiven us for most things that have...
Everything.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay, so we agree starting by dropping Bessibois' name is the way to go?
And
I
maybe
think that's
maybe
great
also
then.
something nondescript about, like, Tormenryle, like a name of one of the bars.
Yeah, or well, where do we meet Bessibois? That was
Wait,
actually
that was on
Moontree.
Moontree
on
Isle
Moontree
itself.
Isle. So,
Yeah.
like, the name of, like, the inn, be like, where do we meet? We met Bessibois at the inn, right? So we could say the
Yes.
name of the inn as well, which was...
Why do you do this to me?
It was so long ago.
I'm sure I
It's
have
like-
it written down.
yeah, it's probably in my
somewhere.
notes somewhere.
I'm like, do I remember what the name of the freaking innkeep was? Deserved.
I have to go back a notebook for this.
Dude, she came up to Ketch, and Ketch can barely remember that they weren't that they weren't
Actual
brothers.
Yeah.
It's the mayor. There were just so many NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, Moontree had a lot.
Oh, in a honey.
Aw, yeah. She
I know, I just
wasn't
saw
at
something
all
about
Honey, too.
terrifying.
Oh yeah, which one was in?
Oh,
it?
I went back way too far.
The Beckoning Stranger. That was the pun that I
The
went
Beckoning
with.
The Beckoning
Stranger. Thank
Stranger.
you, Gia.
Oh, the stranger beckons.
Writing that down.
Stranger beckons. The
And
stranger
that
continues
fits
to
in
beckon.
perfectly with what we're trying to do right now.
Yes, we're trying to beckon a stranger towards us. Come to us.
Instead
Okay.
of shooting them.
Now, I'm going to go with
No, Matt. they weren't
Nero
brothers.
is going to do the talking.
I mean, like, I kind of feel like
was a joke.
we might want to speed things up just a little more.
Okay, but
Rachel's
here's the
face in
thing.
response to that, by the way, again for the podcast, just sheer unmitigated horror.
I'm mediocre at lying to people and mediocre at persuading people.
Sorry,
to
do you
things.
think I'm
It's like,
gonna
if you're
lie
wrong
to anybody?
and you
No,
lie to
we don't want anybody to lie to anybody. I just
Okay.
want somebody whose persuasion bonus is higher than a +3.
Mine's a 5.
What is this persuasion bonus you're talking
Yeah,
about?
that's why I tried earlier to be like, I'm bad at lying
I'm
to people and I'm
happy
bad
to
at persuading
talk to
people of things.
them, but yeah,
Oh, I'm not
I'd like to-
particularly persuasive.
Now, can you just run by me every single thing you want me to say?
Okay,
and
maybe
do
Minnow,
again?
maybe okay.
No, there's got to be a better way at this. I mean, I feel like
Can
So I'm
mm,
gonna
I love
tell
you,
the
Nero.
person I talked to that
But-
we're from the past.
no.
Okay.
no,
We're
see?
here to.
I think Minnow should
right.
do it.
okay.
And
Dent
I'll
is
guide
even
you.
cringing
I can
right
help
now.
guide you.
Asana's
have-
like Asana, Dellen, and Mr. Jimbles are just sitting on like one of the couches, and like all three of them are just kind of like,
Look, the thing about this is Nero goes the long way round, but Nero gets us allies. Like, are you like, think about the things that have happened because we let Nero talk to people. We got a fucking boat and like 1 million gold from
Right,
a man
but
who literally renounced his evil capitalist ways in like one conversation.
But that's in person.
Asana, that was your
Nero
dad.
is way much better in person. I feel like
Not
over
a
the
phone
phone,
conversation.
I don't feel like that
Okay.
personality is gonna click
Okay.
as well as if, Nero
Okay.
was like, hey Steve, how's the family over a pint? I feel like there's a lot of difference that's gonna happen
Okay.
here.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
All right. I can do it. Catch can do it. Who do we want to do it? Catch, honestly, I love you, but I don't know that sometimes you're a little brash in a way.
Brash. Brash? Well, excuse me. I have a nanodrider living in my head. I feel like brash is probably
Yeah.
the least I can be at this
I
moment.
agree with you 100%. You have a right to be brash. Dent,
But you're right. You be what we
Dent,
need allies.
no, sorry, love you, but no. It's you and me, Ressa.
I'm not particularly persuasive. I mean,
Well-
on a scale of,
If only there was a reason to be stealthy.
As Minnow just stays very still
Give it a
and
try.
silent next to the datapad.
Dylan, are you persuasive? You did encourage all of us to go on
To take
this whole
stupid job.
excursion.
Helen has
I
to have a
paid you
negative
money.
charisma.
Okay, all
Money
right.
is persuasive.
Give me
Money's
the
great.
data pad. Let's do it. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. All right, everybody help me. I'm gonna embody.
Guidance.
I put I literally I
hold your hand.
disguise self and I make myself like I just like look like a Karen. I just want to look like a Karen. I'm gonna have a nice little sundress on. I'm gonna have my hair really nicely done, my makeup done. I'm like, this is my phone talking persona. This is my
It's blonde
talking
highlights
to
just
cops
in,
persona.
with also red.
Karen calls
Yeah.
the cops. Karen calls the cops. Okay. And
I'm gonna hold your hand while you do it.
Okay.
She's got a hand off screen.
Minnow has to role play someone who can have this conversation because she can't do it herself.
Ressa and Ketch are gonna notice over on the couch, Asana and Dylan like sort of like bent over whispering. You're gonna see them like both pull out like a cred chip and like put it down,
No.
and you're gonna see like Mr. Jimbles reach under the bowler, slide a cred chip.
Honestly,
You're not
saying
sure what the
that-
nature of the bet was,
Yeah,
but
I throw a cred chip in too and say like I'm betting against me. Wait, no. I have to
Asana's
bet
like,
I
that
have to
is
believe in myself.
concerning.
So you bet for me? Thank you. Okay. No, don't answer that. I don't
can
know
do
who I can
this.
let down. Thank you. Okay, let's
can do
go.
You're the best. You're the
Minnow
I'm just
has
picturing-
phone anxiety like a true millennial.
One hand holding like, Nero's hand, the other hand holding a gun. Both sort of comfort and soothing mechanisms are in play.
And Ketch is standing in front of you going like, you got this. And I like, but then you see his tail kind of come up and be like,
Anybody have
and Russell's gonna like kind of push the tail down.
enhanceability? Not like a way higher spell than.
That's a surprisingly high level spell.
Okay, that's
I think
fair.
it's like a
can give
fifth
you
level.
a pep talk. It won't give you any points. but you
I was
might
hoping it would
feel-
give me. Yeah.
You got calm emotions.
Yeah, do it. Hit me.
Every 6 seconds, I gotta hit you with that.
Oh, isn't it a minute? It's a minute concentration.
Can I use my cowman of his word and give advantage on a skill for a person that I have vowed to help?
It's you have advantage on the skill in order to enact helping
give
someone.
yourself advantage. It's true. So I give myself advantage on encouraging you.
See, this is again why we just need it to be you, because if I can cast Wrathful Smite on somebody.
Okay,
We just need to be who?
I'm not.
okay.
I'm not gonna. Not steering you one way or the other. I think both of the options presented to me at the moment as DM are hilarious. I will say, given the amount of distress is Minnow has gone full, like
Karen,
disguise
she's
self
ready.
Karen. Nero would consider this helping Minnow to take the call. So you could have Cowman of his word applying to some of the roles that could result.
Are you sure? I I can handle this. I've learned a lot. I'm responsible. I'm thorough.
I
have all of you here with me to help support me. I think, likable.
okay.
Dent has started
I'm
scribbling
not
on like
afraid.
note cards, like things for Nero to just
Keep in
get to the
mind, hey,
point.
I'm
Oh,
not afraid of talking to authority. I
I can do it.
I just take the data pad out of your hand and I call.
Okay.
Oh, we're all gonna die.
This is
So-
not
so
the
you
plan
hear-
today,
Okay,
friends.
guidance.
as Ressa like slap. No,
fine.
shit. Target changed.
And also, it's not because Nero is not doing this because he thinks that you're incapable. He's doing it because you seem very in distress. And
Yeah.
also, you've seemed very in distress for like a week now, and he's kind of nervous. So
That's
it's just
fair.
like,
Especially
it's
with
fine.
the gun just clenched in a fist.
right? Yeah.
So there's
Well, I'm just gonna keep like guidance going.
And he's just going to be
No.
like, how does this work? It's
there's
this
so basically it's going to come
button.
up and there's just like one button on the touchpad because this
Isn't
was
that dumb?
this
It's Nero proof.
this was also designed to be an encrypted burner for one purpose, calling this number. So there's a button.
Push it.
Yeah, you hear a sort
Push
of
the
a
button.
push the button. You hear sort of a brief sort of tone, which is basically everyone can hear. This is coming through the speakers on the datapad. You're the only one that's going to be heard, and you're going to be going through essentially your data port link. So you're mostly going to be, you can speak so that people can hear what you're saying, but it's you thinking the words and trying to transmit them is essentially what sends it.
Okay.
Just so we're clear on how this is working. Everyone can hear it at the same time, and you have to be intentional with trying to send that thought. So it's not like they're just going to get the background processing noise of Nero thinking about things.
It's not going to be like, I wonder what that is over there. Also, Nero did pay attention. Rachel is bad at retaining information, so I'll probably ask for like, wait, what's the?
I'm not putting you on the clock of like anything you say your character says out loud here. It's like, this is fine. This is an interaction. We can think about things and get back. So there's so then after several minutes coming through the speaker, or not minutes, sorry, moments. You hear a voice. Detective Sandcott speaking.
Hello, Detective Sandcott. My name is Nero, and I was hoping to ask you some questions.
Of course. Who referred you to this number?
A friend.
And you're gonna hear like, you're gonna hear the sound of. Okay, I can't keep going with like fully sort of emic descriptions of sounds. You're basically gonna hear like the tapping of a data pad.
Yeah.
For a second, you're like, an untraceable link. So if you're a corpse suit threatening me, a criminal threatening me, or really just anyone else threatening me, please just go ahead and hang up or carry out your threat. Either way, we don't need to talk.
I apologize if my demeanor has come off as threatening. It was definitely not
Maybe
my intention.
just
You
to
are
the
not a
point now.
corpse suit. Okay.
I've done some criminal things in my
No,
time.
Nero. No.
They were
Nero, no.
I wouldn't consider myself a criminal. They were for
Nero, please.
good reason.
Nero, no. Nero,
So I'm calling to ask you a question, sir.
Then
Sure,
maybe
what
no
the hell?
cards.
Help each other. And then I'm going to ask for the name of these two people, right? Was that the kind of goal, or?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Say I'm looking for these two detective
I'm
name and
looking for
name.
Derek
Denrick
and Timmel.
Demel. Denrick and
Denrick and
Demel?
Timmel.
Demel? With a D?
Timmel. T.
Timmel.
Timmel.
Oops.
It sounds very close to a Hebrew word, so I think that's why. it stuck
Actually,
in my
are we
head.
speaking? We're speaking in Old Common, so that would probably already have
You also know that a lot of your data port
Oh,
stuff has automatic translation.
Yeah. So, we are looking, said we. I am looking for Denrick and Timmel. I believe they possibly work for you, or are you? And I would like to pass on a message from Bessibois, who we met at the Beckoning Stranger, and we really would like to talk to Denrick and Timmel. I know this isn't a video call, but he's definitely making these faces like,
Oh, I thought it was a video call.
No, you are not seeing him. Part of the encryption to get this line. I'm just acting it out anyway. Interesting. Give me a persuasion roll. With advantage, you don't need to invoke Cowman of his
And
word.
guidance.
yeah, advantage and guidance. Well, let's see if I need the guidance. Let's see. Persuasion.
Well, it doesn't hurt to
And like
use
just
it
watching,
anyway.
use it,
at least
yeah.
like 15.
I'll do the guidance. Yeah,
I can
sure
use my
will.
inspiration.
17.
17?
Yeah.
Like 17's pretty good.
So there's, you can just kind of hear like room tone on the other side. Like you can hear some like people moving farther away. You can hear like conversations, but not the words. Just, there's other people around. And then you're gonna hear, and there's just sort of this long pause. And then you're gonna hear a creak as of a door closing, and the room tone has now gone like almost quiet. And you can hear now maybe a little bit of strain in his voice, and like, you are friends? He is now speaking Old Common with Denrick and Timmel from their town home.
So, to be honest, we've never met Denrick and Timmel, so I think in the future we will be friends. But right now,
Tell them we know their
no.
mom,
I know the mother.
Bessibois.
The Bessibois, yes. Then
Yes, very nice lady.
Tell them she wants us to bring them home.
She would like for them to visit home, and we're helping to facilitate that.
I know that also they want very much to see their town again. But it is a distant journey.
We're very good travelers, and we have a very good method of getting them home. We also will be visiting their home because we're from a similar area.
Give me a persuasion roll.
It's guidance.
Can I still get advantage from Cowman, or is that only once I can do it?
You could take this because you've essentially, I would say that the activity of this phone call counts as helping someone who you gave your word to help. So you could expend a charge of it to get advantage on this roll. You had advantage on the first roll from just okay, you dodged the fumble.
Oh, glad that I did advantage, because that was a crit fail. That's a 17 plus. Do I get guidance, or?
Yeah, you have guidance back on. Ressa
I
is
like the
essentially
idea that Ressa is just there, just
standing
like,
behind you going,
Just massaging.
21.
Yeah.
the touch component of
Giving
the
Nero
cell is
back
basically
rub.
a shoulder massage. You got this,
Yeah.
you got this, you got this. So 21 for persuasion. I see. There are many and you can tell he's like trying his best to keep this in Old Common and having a very hard time. Many blocks between their home and here, and many people want to find a route to get back to their home.
Yes, but we're better than them?
Give me a persuasion roll.
Guidance.
Yes.
So you are you just rolling this one straight?
Oh, I accidentally rolled advantage, but I shouldn't. Because I think I can only do it once, right?
It's proficiency mod. The 3 times.
Why did I just roll it?
I was like,
oh yeah.
squeeze.
I also just rolled a d20 without thinking.
Right, without pushing persuasion.
So that's plus 5 is 18.
Okay.
And then plus a d4, right?
Yep.
I didn't click advantage and other stuff, so yeah, it's a
21.
21 again.
He'll sort of pause. I know that this trip is hard to arrange, organize. It how do you think you will travel?
Nero is struggling so hard with not just being like, listen, we're going to go back in time. We just need them to come back in time with us. And it's just...
I also like
Really?
that I'm pretty sure this is the first conversation that Nero has ever had and on this stream with someone whose diction speed is slower than his.
Well, I'll be honest with you. This may come as a shock. I'm not the smart one of the group. So I don't necessarily know all of the inner workings of the plan, but I know that we can do it. And I know that we would like to bring them with us. I'm just gonna ask, are you them?
No?
You just know them.
Yes.
Is there a way that we could know them? You seem like a very nice person. I want to trust you. Can I trust you?
There are many who are interested in people from your region. It is not very safe. It is quite danger to meet. A moment. Pause.
Nero just gives a thumbs up, double thumbs up to everybody.
Minnow is literally like just so excited. She just like gives you a big hug.
Oh, that's a big deal too.
So there's you hear again the sort of creak of the door, and again you hear that sort of background noise rise. Falls again, and creak. A little bit of time goes by. Asana is now sort of slightly nervously watching this, as they're sort of, this is a longer pause than the first time. And then you hear another creak, room tone, creak again, quiet. This is Denric. And he is speaking in Old Common. I have heard that you know my mother and are from a similar region to me.
Can I just say the real words?
That would be inadvisable because you do not know who is listening, and many people like to steal travel plans. Why did we go with this metaphor? I don't understand.
Yes, I am from your area, and I met Bessibois recently, and she misses you and Timmel. And would like
Outside,
to see.
I was gonna say outside the conversation, Minnow is gonna like turn to like Ressa and Ketch and Dent and be like, "Is now when we say that I'm the one who shot him?"
No,
Okay.
I don't think we should ever say that.
I feel like it needs to. I think it needs to come up.
Not on the phone. Just not on the phone.
She really wants to see you and Timmel again and has asked for us to bring you home. We have just, I don't know how else to say it, but we have ways to help you. And we have ways to get you home and get ourselves home safely. But there's a limit in time. The carriage, it's not a carriage. I'm sorry. That was a lie. The way to get home, it leaves without us, whether we're there or not. So we need to make sure to be there in time.
Okay. Give me a persuasion roll.
Okay, I'm gonna use advantage again because
Okay.
I'm scared.
And guidance.
18 before guidance. So you've used 2 of your
Yeah,
charges.
I've been marking them.
20?
20.
It's gonna sort of. You hear. You essentially hear some whispers that seem to you very much like there's an actual physical like receiver for this sound, and then they're sort of turned away from it, talking. Yes, I would also. We very much miss my mother and family and friends from our home. You said there is a time limit to this method that you have. I get the sense that you are very honest. Is the time limit more or less than 10 days?
Is the time limit more or less than 10 days?
22.
Yeah.
More. Okay, thank you. It's been a while. More.
Okay. More or less than 50 days.
Less.
Okay. Does this plan require a very punctual departure?
No.
This metaphor.
We just need to leave.
It's like a Euro
Before.
pass. You can use it anytime in between the 3 months that it's like active
Yeah, I just
for,
say
and-
that.
Yeah.
We just need to leave before the time has passed. It doesn't matter when in that time.
Oh, okay. And I'm not good.
I'm not either, so don't feel
You're
bad.
gonna hear, hi, this is Timmel.
Oh my God.
If
My
you were,
name is Nero. It's nice to meet you.
it's a pleasure to speak to you, Nero. So, if we're saying that, we could depart at any time, before this deadline, but when we're, say, actually departing, do we need to hurry? Or would it be once we can depart, we can sort of depart anytime, have a lot of time to pack? Or is it going to be a quick get on the carriage? Those aren't from
Not
this
a
time.
carriage.
Those
I
aren't
can't
from this
stress
time.
that enough. I believe you should be spending time with us ahead of time to prepare for your departure.
And then it's going to be fight and go.
And then I'm not going to say we have to fight. That seems bad.
Yeah, okay, but you have
Then
to
we-
warn them that there's danger.
Then it's a very treacherous path to travel, but we will be with you, and we are strong. And I'm assuming you're strong if you work with the police.
And if we shot you and you didn't die.
And if we shot you, I'm going to say that you should come and spend some time with us before we go, because when we go, it's going to be a quick and difficult departure.
Oh, okay, I think that makes sense. How are you so bad at these?
Dent is gonna whisper, ask if there's anything we can say to prove our case.
I think they trust me, though.
So
I that makes me sound super untrustworthy now.
well, they didn't hear that though, because you have to.
Okay, good, right.
try
Yeah,
to
I
send
have
that.
to actually send it.
You all don't need to whisper around this. You're sort of.
I mean,
direct
but
line.
does Nero think about not sending it? Like, that's
Okay,
a real
I
question.
will allow for this could be a Stormbringer situation.
Nero's not that bad.
Okay.
No offense, Stormbringer.
Okay.
Message cantrip Timmel.
That probably makes sense. So it was more than 10, less than 50. Do you think that if we were to, you could perhaps give Detective Sandcott maybe a day of notice before we would be departing, so that then we could come meet up with you?
Of course. I think Detective Sandcott seems lovely. Is he to be trusted
Yeah. Oh,
with
yes.
this trip home?
Yes, as he mentioned, though, there's lots of parties interested in these particular travel routes, so discussing them too much isn't necessarily, we wouldn't want it to get too crowded and or killing us.
Yeah, we generally don't like people to die when they travel with us, so we'll work hard.
It's a bit of a downer. Yeah, so yeah, if you can just let him know when perhaps we should join you.
I'm gonna look at everybody. I'm gonna cover the thing even though it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna be like, is one day enough time to give them notice, or should they be with us sooner?
I mean, we're not going to take them with us to do the other stuff, right? Like,
No.
so why wouldn't? I mean, Catch, you think we need more time?
Well, I mean, it's still a lot for me to figure out and process and everything, but we have to do, 3 different things in order for this to work?
Inside this time space of like an hour, there's basically 3 things that you're going to do all as it's a forced party split, where you have to accomplish 3 goals in very sort of tight succession, and then from that you are going to go directly to the facility that would actually time travel you.
And that's
so a day
what I'm-
seems reasonable. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
I mean, it does seem pretty simple, but the fact that that whole day that we're going to be traveling, there's a lot going on. So I
So
almost
you
feel
think
like
maybe
they should
2
be
days?
with us.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking we give them a day's notice before we do any action to start the cascade of events.
So basically, you would have them
So
there
like
the day
tomorrow
before
we
you
need
were
you here
going
at
to do
8
this.
a.m. because we're rolling out at 8:30 to fuck shit up and go home.
Right.
Yes, a day's notice is reasonable, and for us to get the travel plans in motion.
Okay, I think then that all of that sounds agreeable. There's a sort of a pause. Was Bessibois well?
Sorry, Eric just walked upstairs in his underwear, so I was very distracted. Hello. Um, she was well enough. She was very sad to have missed you for so long. Wait, how long were they gone for Moontree Isle time?
A couple of days.
Okay, so I want to let them know that too. Like, because Nero understands that there's time, fuckiness. So I'll say, you've been gone for a few days, and she'd really love to see you again. You're good. You won't be in the shot if you go over there.
That's
Just kidding. No, I'm kidding. He immediately covered his private parts. He doesn't know he's. Anyway, I love you. It was like that time that we were playing board games with Andy, and Eric's fly was down, and I was trying to motion to him, and he was
Live
standing
on the
next to
internet.
Andy. I was trying to motion to him, like, you need to zip up, and so he did, and Andy just looked at me, and he goes, "Was Eric's dick right next to my face?" And he just goes, "Oh." It's like, God damn it, Andy. You're such a creeper. Anyway.
I just
Can't wait for Andy to edit
I
this
just
episode.
at the delay on this, and I
You
just
can
see
join us with
Lena.
!Discord.
Oh God.
Sorry, Lena.
What was the last thing you actually said to Timmel? Yeah, okay.
Oh, so I said that they've
Yep.
been missing for a few days.
Processing back through. Yeah. That's good to know. All right. Yes. You should be able to reach this number with about a day's notice, roughly, and then we can set a location to meet at.
Yes, here's our address. It's 55, but no, I'm kidding.
I just here's our address. People are like,
No, well, I was gonna say, do we have any way of contact besides this? Because this was a one-time setup, right? From
I think that the
Wiseman?
wise men can do this again for us.
I guess I could just ask, right?
Yeah,
Is Wiseman
you
still
could
there?
certainly ask to again. The other reason that this very elaborate sort of burner setup was arranged was partially in case Sandcott wasn't worth
Right.
trusting. So it might not have been a huge deal if you needed to briefly contact Sandcott and be like, here, this
Right.
time,
Okay.
off we go.
I'll say to Nero, tell them that next time we get in touch with Sandcott, it may not be you, but that we'll have a code word. What's our code word? Quick.
Pineapples.
Pineapples.
Really love pineapples.
And that means that it's one day to go, and it's someone from our group confirming. Well, maybe we can say tomorrow we're having pineapple at the Beckoning Stranger to indicate.
Okay, yeah. Can I speak with Detective Sandcott one more time, please?
Sure. He wants to talk to you. Hello?
Hi, Detective. So, the next time that we speak, it may not be me because we have a lot of us in our group. So we thought it might be a good idea to give you a code word. Um, does that sound
That
like a good idea?
is a move smart.
It is a move smart. I thought so too. Thank you. Um, Minnow came up with it. Oh, I don't remember if I was
Nero
supposed to
has a
tell
new
you
best friend.
names, but Minnow is one of
Definitely not the one that shot you.
So when one of my companions calls, they will say, "We will have pineapples tomorrow at the Beckoning Stranger."
And an actual location. Yes?
Yes,
That's
also
just to prove
that.
identity,
That's
and then we'll have a
that's to
conversation.
prove identity. Yeah.
Yes. This
Oh,
this
no, I'm smart. Listen, what it should say is our companion will say, "We'll get pineapples tomorrow," and you'll say, "At the Beckoning Stranger." And that way we'll both know that the other is who they are.
vaguely in the background here. Do they have pineapples at the Beckoning Stranger?
They
The whole
do.
of
They're
Tome and
very
Riles
delicious.
lousy with them.
This seems agreeable. Yes. You will call. You will request pineapples. And tomorrow at the Beckoning Stranger. Yes. Good. I
Right.
look forward to this. They have not seen their mother in a long time, and it would be good for them to get to visit your home.
I agree. So they should get ready. They should start preparing for their trip if they can, so they're ready to leave when we call them.
Yes, this makes sense. I wish you safety.
They should also maybe be prepared that some of their friends might be fish.
Is the beholder fish real?
Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Call it.
I don't.
Is the beholder fish real?
What
Done
does
that.
what does what does
I'm
that?
being told that
does
it's
that mean?
time for us to go.
Don't worry. Tell them, don't worry about the fish right now. We'll fill you in later.
Don't worry about the fish. We'll fill you in later.
I feel like I should be worried about the fish. I know, right? What the hell's with the fish?
Fish are quite filling.
They have fish concerns now, but
We do too.
We
Yeah.
will speak
too.
to you. That is not helping. Later. There's a
was
silence, and over this you,
nice to
and
speak
in the
with
background
you.
again, you can hear, what the hell did he mean? Fish! Did
Sorry,
they
I
miss part
couldn't
of the
resist.
coke? Click. So with this, it appears that you have arranged travel plans.
I did it.
I again just like big hug on Nero, and I'm just like, I knew you were the right choice.
I didn't roll below a 17. So un-Rachel like. Well, I did roll a crit fail, but
You
thankfully
did
I
roll
had
a crit
advantage.
fail.
Yeah,
But
that's
advantage.
Rachel like.
Very well done.
Nero is also going to just say, I don't think I told a single lie.
Except the carriage. Do you want a drink?
I fixed it. Yes. Do you have orange juice?
Fine. Minnow gets you an orange juice, and herself an orange juice with tequila.
I was gonna say, and herself a screwdriver. Very good. You appear to have arranged contact with the. Oh, I thought you were like raising your hand for like no.
I was
There's
just
a point.
pointing
Yes.
at the cat.
Kitty.
Arranged contact with Detective Sandcott and the Bessibois. You have arranged a plan for getting them together with you to be able to get out, and you've arranged a system of password and counter password, which when it comes time for you to use it, I will almost certainly have forgotten and have to panically skim through previous sessions before while I prepare for that particular session. Otherwise, it's not going to be possible for me to be suspicious or not, because I'm just going to be like, look, they say the right thing. You say the right thing, they say the right thing, we're all fine, moving along. And I think with this, let's go to our break for tonight. A little bit early, but very well done, everybody. Thank you again. I know Monty had to bounce to work, but when they catch this on the other side, thank you so much, Monty, for the amazing art. Everybody loves it. I know I love it. Really excited we could get to have that sort of progression for the characters. Yeah, we will be back in about 15 minutes probably to possibly deal with some 4.0 related issues. Yeah, so have a good break. Get up, stretch your legs, get a snack, manage fluids. We'll be back in about 15. Hello, and welcome back, everyone. In the first half of the session, the party manufactured a biome to put on Nero. We had some very, very good art updated. I actually just popped it up on the screen for stream if you're joining late. Once again, the art for these tokens comes from Monty, at Miraculous Monty on Twitter. They do amazing art. They did the original art for the Marauders, and then we decided to update it a bit with their new cyberpunk looks and adventures and attitudes, although like Minnow's eyes aren't kind of like spasming enough to sort of get to the new Moontree City attitude. But incredibly awesome art. Check them out, follow them on Twitter. And yeah, these are now everybody's tokens. I don't have a hotkey for that, so it would have been real bad if I'd clicked something that I don't even know what I was going to try to click in order to dismiss the tokens. And then we had a Nero, then Minnow, then Nero was selected to have a phone call with Detective Egan Sandcott, who it was believed might know something about the Bessibois, a pair of young sailors and fishermen from the Marauders timeline, that they're the mother of one of them. They're a married couple themselves, and so she refers to them as her boys. Asked Ketch if there was any way he could bring her some news, preferably not just news, but them. So they had a successful conversation in which those were incidentally not low DCs on those persuasion checks.
I rolled above a 20 on all but one.
Yeah. No, but I meant like
crazy.
you kind of needed to roll well, or there would have been a lot more checks. It also, as per my normal methodology, mattered a lot what you said.
It's like, we're going to have the ex-criminal talk to a cop who has no charisma. Let's go.
I love how
like-
the very first line was like, "Now I have done some crime."
To be honest,
That was so funny.
I have to know where.
And the way I was running it, just because I think it's sometimes interesting to talk about this mechanically, one of the things that I'd explicitly included in my notes for Sandcott was if he caught you lying, he wasn't going to say anything. He was going to let you keep talking and see where you went with it. Because so often it's like, oh, you had a really bad check. They're like, no, that seems wrong. He's like, he's just going to let you keep talking.
Right.
Like,
It's a good thing I don't lie. So,
yeah, no,
you know.
I just like it's a character. That's a lie. You can like almost hear. What?
I couldn't do it. I said it and I was like, no, this is wrong.
So with that, the rest of the day will proceed. Minnow continues firearms training with now some pep in her step. Feeling good about the result of that conversation.
And a little bit of tequila in her body.
A little bit of orange juice and tequila.
Always safe.
Exactly how you want to learn firearms training.
Yes.
After getting off the phone, Dylan will sort of like pat you on the shoulder, Nero. Asana will also sort of nod at you. Mr. Jimbles will go into sort of one of the pouches that's up on the shoulders of your new terrarium jacket. So it's essentially like a little soft, very small, like cat carrier. Pretty sure that this was not actually designed to fit him, but he makes it work.
Yeah.
The wings get sort of
Accurate.
out. This is very much a if it fits, I sits, yeah. Where the cat does not in fact fits. And yeah, the rest of the day passes relatively uneventfully. You can have your long rest. Anyone who's used long rest resources, those can reset. And then on the next day, Catch, you kind of wake up in the morning and kind of try to see if Eliza is awake in your mind, and it seems like she's still sort of hibernating. And you do remember like one of the last things that she had said to you is like, essentially she needs to, in order to persist, integrate with a physical entity, and sort of give shape to that. And so she had asked you to choose to either augmentation or collaboration. And yeah.
Is anyone else awake, or is it just
I never sleep.
I was gonna say Dent never sleeps.
And so yeah. Catch will walk over to Dent and like, hey bud, you got
Morning.
a minute?
Yeah. What's is anyone else up?
I mean, I don't think so. I was kind of hoping that maybe, just you and I could have a little talk.
Yeah, you want to go fishing?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Should we leave a note for Minnow?
I just like that Minnow is the mom. Like, should we leave a note for Minnow?
The mom, or like I'm about to come out guns blazing because my friends have been kidnapped.
Yeah, mom.
No, yeah, mom.
If that's something we would normally do, then sure, let's do it.
I mean, I don't think it is, but I don't also want Minnow to like destroy half the town.
Okay. So then scribbles onto like a big piece of paper. Gone fishing.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Are we gonna go try and catch one of those fish?
Make a container.
Yeah, I'll grab like something. And is
whole body
ice
is
a
a container.
commodity? Is ice a commodity?
Can you
Can we
just
get
fill
a
your body
cooler?
with ice and then just stuff
Okay.
fish inside of it?
Okay, yeah, that's
I meant to
what.
keep it alive.
Okay,
You're
perfect.
gonna just
Yeah.
be covered in condensation all in there.
Hopefully that
With
doesn't mess too
eyeballs
much with the
bulging out.
with the gears. um, uh,
I will say, if you try to drop ice inside, the sort of arcane energies inside your armor will 100% sort of melt it.
I try anyway, you know.
You sort of
Well, this is exhausting.
from
Alright,
the
and-
couch, you're going to see Mr. Jimble sort of like blearily open eye.
Yeah, let's go. I can show you my new technique. And
Fantastic.
yeah, and so I guess we're heading out to the nearest waterfront.
Yeah, you're going to basically go to the same place that you did the other day, where you caught the beholder fish question mark.
I will specifically point out where that was when it happened.
Yeah. Yeah, you're sort of on the waterfront here. It's very close to, again, one of these long bridges that stretches across the entirety of this lake and joins the mainland, which is just massive. And it's well above you. It's, this is the equivalent of even bigger of like sitting at the foot of like the Brooklyn Bridge or the Golden Gate or something. So you're kind of sitting there. There's traffic, air cars, ground freight moving above you. And there's the water. Yeah.
As Dent is like unscrewing his rod. Yes. So do you think like Pickles would be interested in learning how to fish?
Pickles?
Yeah. Pickles.
That's just as confused as Chris is.
Isn't Pickles one of your siblings?
Oh my god.
You just like, does he want to teach cucumbers how to fish? I'm very confused.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe Ketch forgot
It's the vinegar that makes them want to fish, though.
Yes. Yes. 100%. I think you should teach all of them how to fish.
Okay, well, all of them at once might be a bit much, but maybe one at a time could be good. Yeah.
I think you could handle at least 2. 3,
Okay.
they might get rambunctious and bored and try and tie you up. Definitely Ham needs to be on his own.
Okay.
100%. Yes. But yes, they would love to learn how to fish. But one, I want to see this fish that you caught, so let's see if we can catch that. But so I was hoping I could, kind of ask you some questions about like having something else inside you. And that sounds weird. Like I
mean, you have like blood inside you.
Yeah, but
Just gonna be a talk about the birds and the bees, or
the like another person inside me. Shit.
Oh.
God.
Yeah, like Ed, right?
Yes.
I'm
yes,
just gonna move
like
this
Ed.
along. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Ed, because I now have Eliza, and it's it's kind of weird.
Okay.
How exactly, like, what's your guys' relationship like? Like, how do you function?
Thinking about it like a relationship is a good way to approach it. But, you know, for me, uh, I've basically been able to keep a firm grasp on a few things in life, and one of those things recently has been just what exactly is Dent. Who am I? What am I? I think I finally have a understanding of this, and it's almost like that's been a major part of my character development. Maybe, but Ed, what is Ed to Dent? I kind of view Ed as like something that supplements me. We're separate. Like, I am not Ed and Ed isn't me, but we work together. He's like a companion. I've never found Ed's existence to be like obtrusive. They've always been helpful. And I can understand why suddenly having somebody else inside of you can be a very interesting, difficult experience. But maybe something that'll help is learning what's most comfortable between the two of you, like setting boundaries, like when is Eliza able to kind of join into your personal monologue conversation, because Ed's always been like, if I ever reach out to him, he's always there, super reliable. And that's been really positive, I think, for both of us, right?
Just to be clear, buddy, up until now, you haven't been wanting me to actually respond to any of the times you've said my name, right? You're just explaining the neat thing?
No, you're good. You're good. See?
Sounds good.
And I think that's been really helpful and functional for me. But, setting boundaries, figuring out what works for both of you, a symbiotic relationship,
Symbiotic. It's funny that you kind of bring that up. So, like, apparently, if I'm understanding this correctly, in order for Eliza to really kind of like exist, they have to merge with the host in like one of two ways. So I have to decide how I want that to be. And I'm kind of not sure. In one way, from what I understand, again, this is also very new, either she would enhance me, I guess make me a little better with like the swords and the bow and such. I can't imagine she could help me run any faster. I am pretty fast, but Nero's a smidge faster, so maybe I could finally beat him in a foot race. Or she like kind of becomes like what sounds kind of like Ed, I guess, kind of like a separate entity still inside of me to assist me.
Okay.
Do you want
yeah,
do you understand?
I think I get it. But bear with me really fast. Hey, Ed.
Yeah, buddy.
If now, I'm not saying we should do this, but if you were to suddenly separate from me, would you still exist, or would you be like, gone? Like, what were you before you were Ed?
Well, to be fair, buddy, I basically had to burn down the entire data archive in order to be able to communicate correctly with you. So, kind of in unexplored territory there. What little memories I've had of previous interactions with buddies like you, normally I only seem to have left. I get a sense of what's the word the meat friends like to use? Mangled. I think that's it. I think that the previous buddies were mangled. Don't let that happen though, because I, again, cannot stress this enough, sort of burned the whole works down in order to connect to your mind.
Got it.
Mangled.
Mangled.
Bad.
Yeah. So just quick note, Catch. Don't do anything too bad to yourself, because it'll also hurt Eliza probably.
I mean, I kind of figured if I die, she probably dies too.
Okay.
Unless she were to jump into one of you guys, which I guess would be fine as well. I don't know how Minna would feel about it, but something tells me Nero would be down.
Maybe. So can I ask you then, like, what about that moment when you reached out to the person who was Eliza in her, more drier form? What was making you reach out?
What do you mean, like when we were fighting?
Well, when you stopped the fighting.
Oh, well, I mean, she looked pretty pathetic, right? I mean, like, she crawled out of the ground, but we had just whooped her ass twice. And she kept coming, and you could just, I don't know, I guess I could just kind of feel that it's not that she wanted to, she didn't have a choice. And I kind of wanted to show her that she had a choice.
Interesting. Okay, and now it sounds like she's offering, or they're offering you a choice.
Yes.
Well, I can tell you from my experience, I mean, as with Ed, that I don't really have any complaints. I would feel lost without Ed. Like if he was gone, much like you guys, but in a slightly more invasive way. Don't take that the wrong way. I guess at the end of the day, do you feel like you want to have, your abilities strengthened, or that you want someone more as a resource, as a companion? Because it sounds like those are your two options here.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I understand it. Yeah, I mean, either, both sound pretty helpful, and, pretty important. But I'm also kind of worried, like, this is a nanotech that is been absorbed into my body, that I get to decide basically how we continue existing from here on out. But now even Eliza is not sure if I can go home with her in there. Me.
Well, it also sounds like she said that she can't exist outside of you in her state.
Correct.
So regardless, it sounds like, just being with you is giving her a life she would not otherwise have.
True.
And if she's willing to try going back home with you, then I feel like it's like that is the decision that she's made.
True.
Because she probably, I would assume that she would understand that you want to go home and see your family, right?
Right. But that's the thing is, now she may have a better idea, after she's rested and everything, because she's still tired. But I mean, like, I made the choice to take her in. I don't regret that. I feel like I helped her escape something horrible. But there's still this uncertainty on if I can travel back. 1, without killing her, or 2, without killing myself.
Well, here's one kind of, you're bringing up a great question. These are huge unknowns. At the same time, I would levy that all 6 of us traveled through time, and we ended up more or less okay. We're using the same exact means to go back to where we came from. And if we ended up fine getting here, I don't see why there's not going to be why there would be a problem for her to go back with us. If there is a problem with that, then we're also risking everyone else that we're bringing back with us. Bessibois, Dellen, the rest of the Marauders. Like, we're all doing a big risk here. There's a lot of unknowns.
True, but see, where my concern is that we all came here, but there was nothing altered about us. We've altered ourselves, and we've already discussed the whole data ports and going back, and that just means, it won't be functional because we don't have this tech in our time. So what my brain is wondering is if the ports aren't going to work, they're just going to be there. It's going to be aesthetically cool, like a scar, because, chicks dig scars and all. Does that mean that because
scars,
the tech doesn't work because there is no tech, she's nanotech, does that mean she then won't work because there's no tech?
So
it's really weird.
Again, a really good question, and I obviously don't have all the answers.
What is dead? You're dead. What is Ed? Ed, think of this. Does Ed have any input?
And Ed, you're like Magitech, and I'm sort of like Magitech, and I know I'm alive, I think. And I think that Eliza's alive, regardless of the technology around them. What do you think?
Well, buddy, based on what I've experienced since we got to this place, it seems like a lot of this technology here runs on mana, which there's a far greater concentration of in this world than in ours, but there are sources of mana where we come from. Many of your meat friends are able to use magic. You yourself are able to use magic, which is channeling mana. So I think the biggest danger would be her losing a power source, but as long as there's someone who can cast spells around, it probably shouldn't do too much. Also, are you fishing during all of this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, roll me a luck
Do you need me
die.
to do some rolls?
Yeah. Give me a luck die here.
Okay. Just a straight up D20?
Yep, straight D20. We'll say you're proficient
I
with
should
the
really
tools.
have proficiency
Yeah.
on this.
I'll say you have 12. Cool. You feel like as you're sort of finishing asking this question and sort of hearing what Ed says, you're gonna feel a slight tug on the line, and you raise up sort of a globe of eyes.
And is it biting on the lure?
Again, it's just sort of sitting connected to it. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
No, what have you done?
Would Ketch have already like taken a mental photo thing?
Oh, I was gonna say Catch is taking pictures.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, great. Okay, I'm doing my I'm doing my wisdom save. Give me 1 second. Okay, here goes a -1 wisdom save. Oh God.
That's a 4.
I'm gonna inspiration this. Cause I could see this going badly.
How much does Dent weigh? Like, can Catch carry him back?
I weigh 291 pounds.
So yeah, you could.
Oh yeah.
You'd probably have to drag him, but
Yeah.
All right, something slightly better. All right, 16.
So you're looking at this fish and you're excited. You're about to just, and for just a second, it seems like it glows, and you kind of like, okay, that was weird.
That was weird.
Is that it?
Does this looks very much like what I fished up before? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what I think is that beholder fish.
Catch just dozens of eyes, just sort of rotate to you.
Sweet. I'm taking pictures.
Cool.
Sending those to Zigzag later.
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, are you sure? I mean, like,
This isn't real. It's not a real beholder. Stop it.
Constitution would probably work better.
Elyse is a cryptid denier.
15. Again, you sort of like, ugh. You could have sworn it was glowing for a second, but you kind of like look at the photos that you just took, like you sort of flip through the album and say, yeah, it's not glowing.
I want to, if there's like a stick or something near, I would pick it up and poke it. Like,
It's just eyes. Like, it's just an orb of eyes.
like there's no, like, are they like on like little phalanges, or is it just like eyes?
It's just goo
It's
covered in
just
eyes.
sort of like a sphere of eyes.
So you poke it in an eye, is what Galway is saying. You're poking its eyeball, one of its eyeballs.
How is it? Can I look and I want to see how it's attached to the line. Like, how did he just pull this out of the water?
Sure. Go ahead. So you're sort of like peering at it, and you're looking specifically at how it's attached to the line.
Yeah.
You've kind of been sitting there holding it for a second. You've been taking pictures, etc. You're sort of looking, and you like look a little closer. You can see the sort of fishing line and like the hook and the bait are all just kind of sort of dissolving.
Okay. So I'm definitely not touching it. Uh, okay. Do you want to keep this thing, or should we just toss it back?
I'm gonna look at it, and Ed, did you ever read on this thing? Because it's not a fish I've ever seen.
Sure isn't a fish I've ever seen, buddy.
Other than yesterday. Okay. Do you have a name? I'm channeling my inner Nero.
A bunch of, again, as you sort of, do you have a name? A bunch of eyes just sort of rotate to you. And like, so I'm trying to think of the best way to convey this. This fish blinks.
Do all of the eyes blink,
Yes.
and are they at the same time?
Yeah, there's just sort of like a shudder.
I
Blink.
hate this galway.
Blink one time for yes. Two
One
times
eye
for
or all of them?
So again, wisdom saving throw, but
Okay.
Oh my god. It's gotta just be like, it's just a joke, right? There's not a real consequence to this wisdom saving throw because beholder fish aren't real. I'm mad.
All right, here we go. Wisdom save. All right, I got a 10.
Good.
We're still
Tell
in
us
the double
what
digits.
happens, Galway? Tell us what happens.
Can of worms opened.
roll a d4 for me.
That span very strangely.
that definitely broke gravity. So you're sort of still like holding this on the end of this the fishing rod, and you sort of look at it and it glows again for just a second. You whip around and punch at Catch full in the face. So give me an attack roll.
Oh.
It's just a straight strength roll. You're not proficient with unarmed strikes.
Yeah, okay. We're clicking here. Great.
6. So you just taking this huge swing, and Catch, you're just sort of like, huh. Duck your head under it. Swing goes around. Dent's sort of like, just sort of like, Dent is kind of like weaving in a slight circle.
Holder
Rename
fish
this
don't
campaign
exist.
The fish conspiracy. Like, it's just, we're so many levels deep into fish now.
The water is deep. There are many fish in the sea. Okay.
Would it be like safe to assume that maybe I have like a sack on me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
a sack on you. I'm sorry.
Definitely.
I'm sorry.
Fuzzy Nuts 101.
Yes, you
Okay,
you did
yeah.
bring, you just sort of you brought like one of your
Yeah, I want to just toss it over it. All the eyes. I want to try and cover the whole fish.
So you're gonna kind of have to come up from underneath it to do that because it's still attached to the line.
Okay.
In the bag. Oh,
But I'm
wisdom
gonna like
saving
try
throw.
and
Right
not
next to
look
the-
at it.
It can go right next to the head and the burlap sack I still have.
Waka waka. Haven't
I'm
brought
gonna
that
try
up.
and do it without looking at it though.
Yeah, give me a wisdom saving throw.
This is Chris.
Yes.
Yes.
Or we'll catch.
No, Chris
No,
needs
Chris
to give the
also
wisdom
has to
saving throw.
Chris is giving me-
It's reaching
Maybe.
straight through
There we
now.
go. Oh, it rolled twice.
We'll take the 18.
Definitely taking that first
Yep.
one. Oh yeah.
So you managed to sort of slip the bag under here just as the line fully dissolves. It sort of goes. It is now in this bag.
Sweet. And I'm gonna look up at Dent and be like, did you mean to try and hit me?
Give me a wisdom saving throw, Dent.
Oh my god.
Me? Okay. Every single time I just then close out of my character sheet.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Whiz save. Okay.
Oh
Roll
my
a
God.
d4.
It's gonna try and hit me again.
Am I trying to catch again?
No, roll a d4.
It's a 2 for everyone who can't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, this was a 2 on the wisdom save.
I got another 2.
Yeah, you sort of like nod at this question. You're the pixels that form like the eyes on your visor are kind of like sliding out to the side, and then you take a swing at catch.
Okay. All right.
Wait, is this how you expected
That's a
tonight to
save.
go? An extremely
No.
long, slow conversation and then fishing trip gone wrong?
No, not really, but
I'm
honestly,
assuming you expected to like guess somewhere in the story, or nah, it's not. It's
I
not
don't
us.
think your AC is a 20.
Oh Jesus!
so take 1 point of damage as you are punched, and with that, you sort of stagger backwards and drop the bag, which drifts to the ground with a hole burned through the bottom of it, and you hear sort of a splash.
I was gonna ask if it was burning through the bag. All right, so Catch'll rub his jaw. I think we're done fishing, dude.
Oh. Okay. Are we just gonna leave it there?
You kind of can't remember what's happened in the last few seconds. Then you're sort of like,
Oh.
Is it just it's just sitting there like on the cliff kind of area on the ground?
oh, the fish is now like in the water. You've
It
heard
did
it
go
like,
in the water
smash.
because I was gonna
Splash,
kick
yeah.
it. So yeah, no, I think we're good. It was good talk. I appreciated very much the jab. That was good form. But I feel like Minnow's probably looking for us. We should probably go back.
Minnow's just drunkenly passed
Jab?
out.
It's literally, it's like 8
Yeah,
a.m. That would
yeah,
be so
jab.
bad.
You hit me.
Do you see?
You hit me.
Where did my lure go?
Yeah, it's
where did-
gone. It's melted. It's gone. It's forever gone.
It's forever gone.
I'm gonna show these pictures to Minnow though. Definitely beholder fish.
I'm so mad.
Do not recommend. It
was a
probably doesn't
joke,
even
and
taste
then you
good
made
either.
it a real thing.
Elyse will never forgive you.
I mean, it's hilarious. I love it.
So Dent would then try to regurgitate what Ed had been previously saying about the, a source of magic, and as long as, that is available, that Eliza should be able to subsist.
So you relate that as you're walking back with Ketch still sort of grumpily massaging his jaw a little bit. You arrive back to find the rest of the Marauders awake, sitting around. Mr. Jimbles is playing with a cat toy that Nero has fashioned.
Can I just say about the beholder fish? The thing that drives me nuts is that, like, I'm the kind of person who's always looking for these kinds of like connections and like what's the big conspiracy and like what's the inner workings, right? And you're like, you made up a beholder fish.
On the spot.
You did on the spot last game, and I was like, okay, this is like. I was bought in. I was like, there's always a reason. We've got a fish. There's fish themes in this campaign. There's things with eyeballs looking at us. This is real. And then Wiseman was like, it's a fucking mutated fish from pollution. And I was like, oh my God, okay, all right. And I let it go. And now I'm back on the like, God damn it, we're being observed. The fish are watching us. The ocean has eyes.
Something's fishy here.
This is why Minnow doesn't trust anything.
Well, as soon as we walk in, Ketch is like sending the photos over to Minnow.
So you're sitting there basically having like coffee, and just suddenly images of this ball of eyes just start appearing in front of your coffee.
Make a
Does it
wisdom save.
I'm going to roll a check on this because if I don't, it's not in character for Minnow. Does it look anything like the fucking creature in the cave where we had to run away? The big bat,
aboleth?
the BBG. Did it look like that?
Big tentacle boy.
Yes. Fish eyeballs. Does any of this resonate?
Does it go?
Wait, can you remind me what the sound is like?
Back then. That was such a giggle.
I'm not even gonna say you really need to roll anything for this. Like,
I really do.
You're
And this is gonna be the crit success.
okay. You can roll me.
You don't understand.
You can roll me your choice of nature or perception.
Well, my nature is 2. My perception is like 11, so not 11. It's not that high. 23.
Nice.
So you're kind of remembering looking at the thing from the cave, now comparing it with this photo. They're very different eyes. The eyes of the thing in the cave essentially didn't have like pupils or irises. They were just sort of a monocolored dark orb that were also heavily lidded. Whereas these are just eyeballs, iris, pupil.
So
White.
were they blinking via eyelids, and was that the kind of connective tissue between the eyeballs?
You did think you saw when it blinked that it almost seemed like eyelids came from behind them and like.
Not unsettling at all.
Yeah. The dog who won't let the squeaky toy go, and you're just like, please let me sleep, and it's like squeak, squeak.
And every time you squeak it, it's just a little ball of eyes, and they all like pop out slightly.
Yes, 100%. The temptation to turn Finch into a beholder fish is real. I will not do it. I look at Finch. I give Finch the eyeball. I show Finch the picture. And then I say, I think it's just a fish. I think it's just a mutated fish. It doesn't, yeah.
I mean, well...
I felt Elyse die a little bit inside saying that.
Well, it dissolved my lure and bait, apparently. I don't remember it doing that, but it did.
He hit me.
You don't, what? You don't, you hit?
I did
You
what?
hit?
He hit me.
Dad, you hit catch?
This is literally like you came home to mom and dad and showed us your new toy, and now we're like, let's talk about this, Dent. Oh my God. I don't want to be mom. Please don't do that. I don't like it. In reality, Elyse does not like the being the mom friend. But in the game, Minnow is very concerned about this. You hit catch and don't remember what happened?
Yes. That one. I don't remember hitting catch, but
So wait,
but I remember pulling it out of the water, and then I remember telling Catch something about magic, and then I was just really confused, and Catch was adjusting his jaw.
Yeah. See, he tried to hit me, and it was really slow, and I was able to move. And then he hit me, and I wasn't able to move, and it kind of hurt. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of hurt. No, that's all right. I only took 1 point of damage. I'm good. I'm good.
All right, all right.
Oh, only 1 point.
What odds? This is Minnow. This is not Elyse, even though it sounds like Elyse. What odds? I'm just to the room. Everybody, Asana, Dellen, whoever's here, just over under for me. What are the odds that this, and I'm holding up the picture of the fish, is actually an enemy that we need to worry about and not just like a fucking
I mean,
eyeball mutated fish?
I tried to bring it back to show it to you.
And it escaped. It's like it had intention to get
It
away
ate
from
through
you.
the bag.
Oh my God. This thing is, it's okay. Maybe it's not just now we need to worry about the Dent. You can't go fishing anymore.
Would you like a calm emotions?
Yes.
Calm emotions.
I think that's a little harsh and a little excessive. I think he can go fishing. He just can't go fishing there anymore.
I'm Minnow, and I can't shoot my gun anymore, huh? See how you like it.
Dan, it's not. I mean, what if this thing is connected to like, and then you just go fishing and like, it's the water is polluted. You're not going to catch any fish that we can eat anyway. All right. We'll
They're
talk about the
all
fish.
fish that Dent can't eat. So
what about-
I don't know that that's his main drive to.
Haven't you
fishing.
heard of catch and release?
Minnow considers an 8 a.m. drink after all.
We've turned Minnow into a drunk.
Minnow's turned Minnow into a drunk.
Why?
I'm sorry you intended on 4-0 stuff happening today.
Honestly, I was kind of amazed at how quickly things were going. Like, the 4-0 was really just an emergency backup.
You know, the joke about like the new toy in my enclosure for enrichment, like it's so hard to let go. Okay. I don't know.
If it was a spy, wouldn't it have wanted to come back with them?
Maybe it was just
I think
amused.
we need to worry about the fish. I think that the fish is interesting, but I think
Minnow's more worried now.
you need to think now about sometimes things are just interesting and sometimes they're scary. And sometimes it can seem like they're in the same boat, but they're actually two different boats.
Well, we're not
I
speaking
agree.
of boat because the acid in the water will just eat through the
Yeah,
hull.
I think as long as we stay away from
I'm the literal
sushis and
one.
sashimis, we'll be all right.
Okay.
I agree with Nero. If we act like the jellyfish and we go with the flow, it's okay. So it's gonna be okay.
Is that what I said?
Listen, all I'm saying is if we're, 2 weeks from now, we're doing our sneak attack on 4-0, we've got our stealth shit going, we've got guns blazing, and a fucking fish is the
Okay,
reason it
Nero
fails.
is just going to put his hand on your shoulder and he's just going to say, it's okay. Hey, look, I found this picture of this fun-looking bird. It looks kind of like Finch, doesn't it? And I'm going to put my data internet stuff in front of you.
Yeah,
It's
between
like
the calm
Finch,
emotions and like the
this one's
obvious
red.
attempt to distract her, Minna will just let it go.
I will also say, as you do that, simultaneously from either side of the room, Mr. Jimbles and Finch both swoop at the image of the bird. Sort of eye each other, separate. At this, wise man, you're gonna sort of hear a similar tone, actually, Nero, and actually, and all of you, when the call went through to Sandcott. And a terminal on sort of the other end will reveal wise man sitting like, hello, how are you all doing?
I show a picture of the fish and I say, are you fucking sure?
It's a fish with a lot of eyes. The water is very, very very infused with
Magic?
mana.
Oh, it's not here. I was like, I want to talk to it.
No.
Bring me next time. If
Oh
you're
God.
really
Yes,
worried about
because that's
this,
all I need is a fury of blows. Because you failed a wisdom save.
let me just attack you 8 times, and then and I do more damage with my unarmed strikes. Dent, if Minnow really needs this to be cleared, maybe I could go and talk to the fish.
So we're gonna go fishing again, Minnow.
I will bring my gun and I will shoot the fish. Dent.
Wise Man is just sort of. Asada, what is happening?
I am drafting an email to Zigzag as we speak.
I was just calling with an update on the.
Yeah,
We're just having some domestic issues. It's okay. It happens when you love people very much and you're close with them.
We'll get through it.
Okay.
Ressa is right. What's your message?
We our sources within the guard indicated that it seems like Sandcott is following through on his conversation with you from yesterday. Seems to be preparing some things. There have been no suspicious communications outside of the communication with you all, etc. The other was we can't be sure, but we've been monitoring. I mentioned one of the 2 leads for finding out more about Foro, as you'd requested, was a subordinate, or not a subordinate, but another company called Moonwatcher Microsystems. In the past day, there has been a significant increase in the data security around that facility. It could be routine, yes, but simplest explanation is often the most correct. That there's a chance that it has something to do with the recent disappearance of a 4-0 assault team, probably including the disappearance of Elyse, which I would imagine they're a little concerned about. So, I can't say for certain that this is where they fabricated her or the mechs or any of the rest of it, but it does seem like this is the best lead that you could have for getting information on 4-0. Given the fact that they seem to be hardening their data security and they may well be putting more defenses in place, time may now be a factor if you're wanting to do this. I cannot stress enough again, we are already actively fighting one of the 8 pillars. 2 at once is a lot, so I would encourage not being real clear about what you're doing. But I have laid the groundwork for several sort of aids for you. I leave it to you to determine how to best deploy some or all of them. I'm currently deep at work preparing for the mission to Drakon. Sources have required a code sample for the machine, and it appears that they've changed parameters more than I'd anticipated, so I'm needing to study it to make sure that all of this will work. So I'm mostly occupied with that, but I will transfer a list of the resources that I have that could be useful for this. It is ultimately up to you. I will say there is a real risk here of 4-0 now being incredibly angry, although they're still hunting you, presumably, so, do with that what you will. I can't make the picture of the fish go away. It's just sort of stuck in the HUD.
It's probably intentional on the fish's part. I'm sorry that you've gotten pulled into this.
Wait, on the fish's part?
Yes, the fish showed great intention and malice today, charming and erasing the memory. I'm not fucking kidding, of one of our own people, and then escaping once it was captured.
You're just gonna see Wise Man like slide her mask up slightly so that she can
I'm
sort of like
s-
see you
I'm
eye to eye.
serious. Why can a fish erase someone's memory?
Seems like a beholder fish.
Why can anything?
I'm
Why
gonna spend some
can
time
anything?
Googling beholders after this to find out if it's normal for beholders to be able to modify people's memories and charm people.
I have a question, Wise Man.
Yes, Dent.
Uh, we spoke earlier about how when we got attacked, ambushed in your safe house, about how one of the mechs kind of bonded with me briefly before exploding or having its own kind of meltdown. And I had mentioned that they said that I was the original. You seem to be a deeply intelligent person. Is there anything that you might be able to learn from examining me that may help you to learn more about what Foro is doing with me and my and other mechs? I don't know. I feel like if I'm the original, maybe there's some deeper understanding you might be able to get.
It is not the worst notion. We have not been able to, as you saw with the whole melting part, really been able to get a sample of any of their more advanced technologies, so... But the mechs that you fought did not seem to behave like you. They seem much more like a mech, and I wonder about this control nanite, and if that might be involved. I do not know. I think that it could be useful, and certainly is a thing that, if you would be willing to, we could set aside some time for before you all are departing, which it may be helpful to us in any future actions against Foro to understand better. But I am afraid I do not fully understand the significance of what that mech said to you.
I mean, I don't want to like regurgitate the whole conversation now.
No.
But
It isn't that. Sorry. She literally means like, I don't know exactly what that would do. She understands kind of what it said to you. It's just there are a lot of implications. And she'll be like, for one thing, is it you or is it another entity like you? You do not seem like you have ever met an entity like you. So is it something that you are here but are changed? In what degree have they literally built these mechs around this, or is this a technological copy? There are many questions, is my only point. I don't think they are literally copies of you.
right. It just, for me, if I can be of help in this sort of long run, you being able to utilize me could perhaps maybe provide some unknown advantage that they don't have, because I'm me and they don't have me. They don't have the original, but it seems that they want me based on what the mech was saying.
That makes very good sense, and I certainly appreciate your care for our fight here. Yes, I will certainly take you up on that. I should go. I must attend to matters surrounding the Drakon incursion, which I do think should be... I did not perhaps have the opportunity to say this, but I am excited that you all will have the chance to return Asana home. She has fought here for years, but wishes to return home, and we have not up to this point had the chance to do so. I am grateful for this. Any contributions or knowledge that you have that might be able to be of use to us would be very good, but she's going to sort of like tap a couple of screens, and you're going to see line graphs essentially appear. Without going too much into this, the higher these lines are, the less stable time is. This is an oversimplification. And she'll sort of show you, like, highlight an area where you see some spikes, but generally, is sitting sort of near the bottom of the bar. This was up until you all got here. Spikes, events, distortions occurred, but generally settled back down, though the trend was moving up. And she's going to sort of highlight, these are the days since you've arrived. Things are getting worse. And you can see that the plateau is now much higher. And she's like, and this is not occurring with, from what we know, corresponding rise in more displaced people appearing or more displaced structures. It seems like the fabric of time and reality itself are beginning to go a bit not good. So your fight in your time may well also be our fight in this time, because unless you stop it, I am not sure there will be a this time.
The data that you're showing us before we arrived, are the spikes and the instability, the peaks of instability prior to our arrival corresponding to other people from our time arriving, or are they independent of arrivals of people from the wrong timeline?
Certainly, the highest peaks, and she'll sort of circle several, correspond to people arriving. Other peaks correspond to some of the larger physical phenomena that we've seen, such as a shopping district being temporarily replaced with a forest, etc. This is, at least visually, all up until now, every time there's one of these peaks, there was an event that, as well as I can tell, we could tie it to. Some I do not know, but those may well be things that occurred underground, somewhere else that just I do not have access to know that it occurred. But since then, things appear to be less stable.
So we arrived. No one new has arrived since our arrival, right? That's not that unusual. It's not like people were popping in every few days,
No,
kind of thing.
yeah, exactly correct.
And then these spikes and things, which used to have clear correlations to phenomena occurring in the world, are now occurring without that clear connection to phenomena. We don't know what is causing or what they're related to. They're just happening.
It seems that way, unless now all of them are occurring in an area where we cannot observe them.
Which could indicate that if in the labs of Drakon,
yeah.
they've been experimenting more, would that be a place where these could be caused?
It is possible, yes. Not a happy solution, though neither is the unraveling of all reality. Really no winners in this sort of output.
Well, cool. Good news. Always a pleasure to talk to you, Wiseman. I mean,
I still can't make
Does
the
this
picture
mean
of
we
the
need
fish
to-
go away.
It's because this fish is now in now in the inner tubes.
It's a
It's a PHISH.
I don't like this.
It's in the net.
You told me it was safe to get the net installed,
Oh
and
my
now there's a
God.
fish inside.
Now there's a well, I didn't know about the fish, did I?
I feel like this is a thing that goes on my DM resume. Broke a party with a fish.
Not just any fish.
Of course, it's Minnow too.
Beholder fish.
Her name
breaks
is
Minnow.
Minnow, and she's like upset about fish. It's too much.
Okay, but when you say beholder fish breaks minnow, it just sounds like a fish fight.
Yeah.
We're having a fish fighting ring, you know. Really exciting.
And so with that, Wise Man will log out, and you all sort of get a series of specifications and sort of an update, essentially a data report of what she had found. The facility is a secured facility, unsurprisingly. It's located outside of town to the west by about an hour. The data facility is a distinct building that does require essentially gene marker access to. So it requires a biological entity with appropriate permissions. One piece of equipment that Wise Man has for you is a gene mask, which is essentially a modification that will let you appear like a employee who would have access. Installing these is not pleasant. Essentially, for the duration, you would appear to be that employee, and then you can sort of get rid of it. It doesn't have a tail down, so you can't be traced through it. It's going to make you feel like crap, though. So you'd want to consider who would have that installed on them, if anyone, if you used it. Again, you don't have to use parts of this. It would be possible to hack this, but that will certainly be a more obvious intrusion. And you would need to be on site. One of their suppliers, Wise Man, has acquired a truck sort of for your use that's registered to that company, so that should get you be able to be into the facility without necessarily raising a lot of alarms.
They're a driver.
Sorry.
What?
Asana certainly could, and potentially.
Is the gene mask thing, is that something all of us would have to do, or one of us would have to do?
No, it would only be one of you. It would be the person that essentially would be able to then get by the biometric defenses to get to the servers and access the computers. So it would only require one person. It does require a biological entity, though, so it could not be installed on Dent. And then various sort of break-in tools, bolt cutters, small blast charges, hackpad. Hackpad is essentially automatically programmed to search through the data to potentially get you what you need, so it routinizes some of it. So those are the resources you have. You would need to get in. The line notes sort of that Wise Man points out is that this is a manufacturing facility. It's not 4O themselves, but they do seem like there certainly seems to have been a security response, and the only thing that's happened sort of recently has been 4O, as far as you know, so it would connect. They do keep relatively valuable resources on site, so you could try for pure stealth. You could try to make it look like a smash and grab and stealthily try to get the data as part of that. You could try to just assault the facility. Wise Man would strongly not suggest. You could try to just sort of sneak in but brute force hack it, Wise Man probably also would suggest that that's going to be a little bit risky. They've got a lot of security, so the odds of then being trapped and it being very obvious what you went for would be fairly high. Yeah. So those are the resources you have. I will also post those into our Discord so that you have that as background and you can kind of ponder on that. Before we wrap up, given that it's 10:12 and I don't want to take too long, Catch, what does the email to Zigzag have?
A quick, just kind of rundown and description of what the beholder fish up close looked like. Like it's appeared to be secreting like an acid or something that ate through the line in the bag. It seems to have the ability to mess with maybe a person's perception and alter their current state of mind, and then just some of the pictures. So just however that would like type up into a nice little blob for him.
Nice little blob of eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this sends, and again, almost instantaneously, you get like the little red. The message that comes back is essentially just a long string of the letter E. And then as you're just sort of, that's like all you get back. You're sort of waiting to see like Zigzag is typing. There is just this sort of primal screech across text. You're sort of like just waiting like a kind of, yeah, okay. And as you kind of disengage from that, like this has been minutes, you are suddenly seeing like a persistent feed of net ads for like Beholder Fish Reel, with links to Zigzag's blog.
Oh, I thought you like beholder as in a reel for beholder fish.
No, sorry. But just like it's definitely the photos that you took. It's the points that you laid out, but are just suddenly plastered across essentially the net. This is, you had to look to find this blog. So you're a little confused that now suddenly everywhere advertisements.
Everywhere.
You get a second message that is again a long string of E's, followed by just, this will change everything.
Happy to help.
Long string
And
of
then-
E's.
Yes.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure
Before
what
we-
you.
Before we go,
Yeah.
Ressa would like to have a chat with Nero, if that's
Oh,
yeah. Hey Nero, can I talk to you for a sec?
Yes, of course.
When you made that phone call, I just wanted to tell you that you did a really good job, and you're really good with people. And I know that I said originally I thought that Minnow should do it, and I kind of feel bad about that, and I didn't want you to think that I didn't have faith in you, because I know how good you are with people, and I'm sorry.
Oh, there's no need to apologize. I also thought that Minnow should do it. It's okay for multiple people to be good at things, right?
Sure, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I just figured maybe, yeah, like I said, we all have our strengths, and I think that I am glad you said I'm good at talking to people. I like talking to people. I think that Minnow just automatically talks to people when we're around them. So sometimes we think that she's the talker, but I think that we're all good talkers in our own way. And I think that
Yeah.
this was a good match.
Yeah, you just did great, though.
Minnow is at the
Mm.
other end of the warehouse, doing firearms training, just repeatedly shooting at a projection of the beholder fish, emitting a noise that feels very similar to what Zigzag messaged you catch.
Mhm. Thank you for apologizing, and I will accept it if it makes you feel better, but I don't think that it is necessary.
Well, I felt like it was necessary, so.
Then I will
Mm.
accept it, and I will put it in my terrarium pocket with
Awesome.
Rachel and Jebediah, and they will make sure that it has a good home.
Okay.
I got fucking confused when she said Rachel.
Me too.
I was like, squeeze?
I want everybody to remember this is Elisa's fault.
Very true.
And then Nero will open up his arms for a hug. He will.
Oh, give Nero a huge hug.
As you do this, sort of Mr. Jimbles is running around, sort of rubbing at ankles in the way that cats do. And you're like, hey,
Oh, right.
insufficient attention. Hey, hey. Then you're gonna see Mr. Jimbles sort of drag a small painting over.
Oh,
What is it?
It's a somewhat
Tiny painting? Did someone say tiny painting?
Mr. Jimbles lives with Elyse. It's a somewhat crudely executed. It seems to be a picture of all of you.
aw,
Go
I
away.
Nero
love it.
Makes that sound that
Way.
that made in the
Go away, take
email.
inspiration.
Yeah. And
But don't use it against us.
Get down. Yeah, don't use it against us.
Don't take it. Don't take.
Give it
I
to
changed my
Dylan.
mind. I changed my mind.
Give it to
Give
Dylan.
it to Dylan.
I'm gonna get down on my knees and I'm gonna look Mr. Jimbles in the eyes. Be like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I appreciate this so much, and when we're apart again, I'll put this up in my home and I'll think of you every time I look at it.
Little tip of the bowler cap.
Mr. Jimbles could come with us. If you want.
God damn it! What was Mr. Jimbles' signs? Don't remember what yes and no were for Mr. Jimbles.
Right? Bowler hat once?
Or nods and no's.
Oh, that's right. No, because Mr. Jimbles can actually
Yeah, he can
shake his
actually-
head and is intelligent. He'll sort of like.
Oh.
Mr.
Okay.
Jimbles has a home here. Maybe there's a
does.
Mrs. Jimbles or another Mr. Jimbles.
Mhm.
Or
Or Mr. Jimbles is a Mrs. Jimbles because I don't think we ever got
I did ask. I did specify what were his pronouns.
Okay.
I couldn't. It's Nero.
course.
No,
we
no,
did.
no. I just enjoy the fact that perhaps there's a Mrs. Jimbles or another Mr. Jimbles. I'm like, you very explicitly just call this Tressum this.
Right.
You stopped trying to guess his name at some point because you were just literally
and
saying
now his whole
words.
life has changed.
Can
and
he
he's
spell?
just
Because
Mr.
now,
Jimbles.
now
Sorry.
he has paints and canvases. He could tell us his name.
Oh.
And that's how we spent the next 3 weeks teaching a cat to spell.
Gonna teach him the alphabet. I mean, I need to practice because
Wise
I need
man
to
is
go
like-
back and teach Grassworks the alphabet, right?
Wise man is like,
So
you all
I
need
need
to
to teach
leave. You need to leave.
wait
We've
on
got one more
you.
day, Asana.
Getting close. Soon we'll hit Z and it will be better. What are you
Wouldn't it
doing?
be so funny? Mr. Jimble's names is like starts with Z, has like 3 other Z's in it. We're teaching him like one letter at a time.
What is he doing?
We
He's
don't know.
hunting a bug.
He's
I'm sorry.
something.
Bug.
He was just straddling everything and it was very intense. So. Anyway, you can
Whoa, big stretch.
talk. Yeah, right?
Okay. This feels like this feels like the correct ending to tonight's session.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you so much, everybody, for playing. Thank you so much, Sam, who I'm sure is tired as hell, but for trooping through. Everybody for putting up with the strange slapstick occasionally nature of this. Thank you so much to Elyse for not actually shooting me. For the oh my god, just cat eye. I just looked up and there was just an eye. For tolerating the is it or is it not real nature of the beholder fish. It's Schrodinger's beholder fish. Schrodenholger fish.
Oh no.
Again, tomorrow, check out Goat's Eye Interview. Looking forward to talking about speedrunning, TTRPGs, and the sort of intersection of games and play with the arts. There's a heart that will be at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then next week on Thursday, we will have Tyr or Dragon Queen's Cradle or something. Something's going to happen.
Probably not Tyr, though.
Oh, not Tyr. Sorry.
Yeah.
Spire. There we go.
I was like, what?
Spire, Dragon Queen's Cradle. Something amazing. So tune in for that on Thursday starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then 9 p.m. on Friday, we will have Goats and Dragons, The Fates of Rin, which will, oh boy, be a tone shift from last time. Check out last time, which was some of the most chaotic and amazing energy I've ever seen in roleplay. And then come back for the Batman voice Where's Rachel compliment to that as
Another Rachel?
as we look for some answers there. From all of us here at Helpful Goat Gaming. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for spending an evening or later with us. Stay safe, be well, kind to yourselves and to each other. Love y'all.
Bye.